I was told once by an executive of television, Glenn, you don't get it. You're breaking too many rules. And I said, I don't even understand what that means. That's when I was informed, look, this is the way the game is played. We all know each other. I know that guy on the other side that you happen to be, railing against, and he knows me. Now, these two individuals were on the opposite side of the aisle. And he said, we all have a role to play. Yes, he's going to take a pound of flesh from me now and again, but I take a pound of flesh of him later. That's the way the game is played. And in between the pounds of flesh, we all have dinner. Well, I just looked at this individual. I said, well, I'm not playing a game. And I don't think the American people are playing a game either. But that's what you're seeing and feeling happening in the media and in Washington. It's a game. And Rand Paul said, I'm not part of that game. I've said that. You have said that. It's not a coincidence that while Rand Paul was on the floor, alongside all of those left and right, the Constitution, people who believe in the Constitution, others, like Lindsey Graham, and in fact, not like, Lindsey Graham and John McCain were having dinner with the president. And it is certainly not a coincidence that the very next day after that dinner, they made signs to put this movement in its place. Republicans on Republicans. What was Ronald Reagan's commandment? See what's happening? Rand Paul wasn't going after either party. He was just saying we should stop until we can get an answer. Progressives will always protect progressives in either party. The other coalition you are seeing formed is the movement of men and women who understand freedom and are willing to behave like men determined to be free. Regardless of whether you believe in God, one God, many gods, no gods, whether you believe in the earth and the rocks, it doesn't matter. Natural rights, nature's rights. All men truly understand these in the quiet moments. When the Tea Party stood against big government because they claimed natural rights, the Tea Party was called crazy. They said the Tea Party is racist, teabaggers, angry cult, extremists, anti-government kooks. All because a group of responsible citizens individually expressed their concern about a government that was growing too big. But still they said, all these people just want to get Obama out of office so they can get the GOP back in. No, that's not what we wanted. The people who formed the Tea Party had just had enough under Bush and realized, whoa, were we making some colossal mistakes? And then they realized that Obama, despite having a D next to his name, wasn't going to be any different. And may I ask those on the left, besides the speed, has anything changed? The direction is exactly the same. The things you worried about, warrantless wiretaps, have only gotten worse. The government has only gotten bigger and more aggressive. The people in the Tea Party just wanted an appropriate balance of power between the executive branch and the other branches of government. They were opposed to growing taxes, opposed to czars who were appointed by a president without anyone's knowledge or input. We warned of an indiscriminate amount of spending, increasing government corruption. People will try to keep them, but at some point, partisan barriers collapse because enough people will realize this isn't about the parties, is it? No, it's a game. And so those who don't want to play the game put their agendas aside and realize the only thing we should be fighting for is human freedom and liberty and equal justice, things that are right and wrong, things that involve life or death. Attorney General Eric Holder and the President were openly violating our Constitution. He would not answer the question, and that's what set this off, was a letter that came from the Attorney General, that said something different than what Rand Paul reads in the Constitution, what I read in the Constitution, what every man has read in the Constitution. You have to have a due process. If you're going to be executed, you have a right to face your accuser and have an attorney and also have a jury. The president can't do it. The Blaze broke the story and showed that letter from Attorney General, and the media ignored it. And then, even greater than our Constitution, they were violating natural law, human rights, and calling this dictate unconstitutional is an understatement. It is a reversal of all man's progress since 1215, the year 1215. That was the year the Magna Carta was signed in England. The Magna Carta was a document that for the first time declared the king is not divinely ordained to do whatever he wants to his people. It was man's first time for nearly 1,000 years to restrain the abuses of one man. Before that, Dark Ages, where everyone was the king's slave. And that is exactly where progressives are bringing us again. Is this what progressives mean when they say forward? America has two options. They can accept this law, if you want to call it that, and go the way of Rome, which was once a beacon of light for the world and collapsed and ended in global darkness. Or America can stand up and remind our leaders that they have no power over us except that which we grant to them. Last Wednesday, Senator Paul and all of these leaders, Democrat included, chose the latter, to stand for the Constitution, and Twitter was on fire with citizens who chose freedom as well. As #StandWithRand trended nationwide, this was no longer a simple caution against a growing government. It's become clear we are against an abusive and autocratic progressive regime, a regime that is progressive by nature, by announcement, and truly bipartisan. America needs people who will take a stand against tyranny on either side of the aisle. And last week, a new page in American history was turned. There's still time to decide which side of history you want to be on, but history does repeat itself. It just has, and Senator Paul was part of it. I will show you the future tonight by showing you the echoes of the past. The death of the GOP next.